Welcome to the Our First Steps podcast. We're so happy that you guys are here. I'm Christiana, and I am joined by my lovely, amazing husband, Jack. And
thank you.
We are newlyweds, and we are talking about all the first steps. So for today, which is really exciting, it's a really special episode because we just celebrated our 1-year anniversary.
Yes, it is. We made it.
We did. So what's really funny is we wanted to record this on our anniversary date, but there were other plans in store for us, which we were okay with, but we figured let's do it, even though we're now almost 2 more months in. But anyway, so we're excited that you're here, and we're going to be talking about our 1 year and also sharing a really helpful resource or exercise. I would say exercise that helped us to kind of set up the next year, which we're still in the process of doing, but set it up well. So stay tuned for that. So we'll get into that later in the episode.
Yeah. And hey, we are so grateful that you are here. We are constantly praying for you and just lifting up who you are and what's going on in your life. If you're like us and you're trying to magnify God in a modern marriage, whether you're a newlywed, almost exactly like us, or if you're someone who's been doing this for a while, like and subscribe. We try to release an episode every 2 weeks. So feel free to tune in. And I think it's a good time, my love, to kind of get into all this jazz.
So we had our 1 year. And honey, what happened on our 1 year?
So this year we were trying to do a couple things. We really wanted to go to Lake Tahoe. Okay. Really wanted to get out west. But unfortunately, like the real ID thing went into effect, and we had our old Florida licenses and we didn't have our North Carolina ones yet. So we couldn't fly. So we're like, really? And your passport?
We could have.
Really?
We had the option to, but we weren't sure. So we didn't know if our driver's license were going to come in enough time.
Yes.
Because it could have come in before we went away. Like we could have booked it and we could have had it happen. But I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, but in this episode and the next episode, we're talking about like why getaways matter. And so we used our tip that we're going to use in the next episode to make the decision for this one. So yeah. But Lake Tahoe, yes. I really still want to go.
We'll go. So we wanted to go out west, but through a combination of like a logistical factor, we may have not even been able to board a plane. But
yeah, that would have been so stressful.
Exactly.
Yeah, especially because I haven't fully changed my last name on my passport, but I've changed it on everything else. So it's like, ooh,
right. And so we didn't want that stress. So we're like, okay, what can we do that's relatively nearby and special to us? So we pulled out the map and we're like, hey, I've never been to Charleston. Christiana has. And thankfully we were in that time of June where like the heat was coming, but it wasn't too hot yet.
Yeah.
And we just decided to go to Charleston, and we ended up staying at a wonderful place called 86 in Cannon. Y'all, it is a super nice like bed and breakfast, like maybe 3 or 4 blocks from King Street.
It was a blessing.
It was such a blessing. And we go there, and it's like this beautiful ornate house, all old architecture and stuff. And we're just like, yeah, let's record. And the room was right next to the entrance of the bed and breakfast.
Yeah.
So like, sorry, go on.
Yeah. Well, that was our second attempt at actually trying to record, because we really thought it would be special to do this on our 1 year. But we were like, okay, how about we're going to be driving? So let's record in the car. And we were just like, why do this? This is just, again, stressful. And so we actually did the exercise we'll talk about later on the car ride there. But at that point, when we decided not to do it in the car, we're like, we'll just do it when we get to the room, because it'd be perfect, cute little background, whatever. We've seen folks do that. And but it was monsooning outside when we got into the place. Like it was so crazy. And so like Jack ran in to first check us in, and I'm sitting in the car because we're like, we don't know what are we supposed to do with our car and our stuff. And it just was like a new experience for us. And then the sweet, I'm gonna say hostess. Yeah. She just started like showing Jack around, and she was like, wait, my wife's not here yet, because I was still in the car. So
I'm getting the grand tour.
It was just a little chaotic, but we were like, okay, whatever. We were so grateful to be here anyway. And so when we got into the room, we were like, I think we just need to, dry off and just settle. So we didn't end up recording, and it was the best thing because we got to just be with each other and enjoy the space and not think about recording, which is still there's still some thought that goes into this.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of behind the scenes that goes into all this stuff. But we ended up staying in Charleston for a couple days, saw a lot of different things, had some good moments. Honey, we talked about it a little bit, but what was one of your favorite moments from the trip?
Yeah. Well, I will also add that there's no shame in going to a getaway that's a drive away.
Exactly.
I think that was just the best decision that we made in that for our trip. Because it gave us more time to be there and enjoy it and not be traveling. So yeah, it was lovely. One of my favorite moments, I would say, so the Airbnb had bikes that we could not rent, we could just use, which was so cool. And everyone here doesn't really know that I'm not really that good at riding bikes at all. You are. Jack is you've done mountain biking out west, and you can bike anywhere. And me, I'm I may need a flat road. But I love the idea of having the bikes with the baskets and what are they, a beach cruiser. So they had beach cruisers, and we were let's use these. And so, but also Charleston, if you haven't been before, there's a ton of cobblestone streets and just little roads here and there. And so Jack I just really appreciated that you were, we did a bike ride. It was really fun. And you were just leading the way, which was really cute. But I was really excited to take you to the boardwalk because I haven't been, but there's this really pretty boardwalk that's there.
Did we even get on the boardwalk? Did we even go?
I think we walked up to it. So, okay. So this is what happened, guys. We biked, and I would say it's a mile of a bike ride, maybe a mile and a half to get to the boardwalk from where we were.
15-20 minutes at most.
Yeah. And it was so fun. It was so pretty and whatnot. And so we get to the boardwalk, and there's this big sign that says no bikes allowed on the boardwalk. And we're okay, cool. It's also now because it was towards the end of June, it was getting warmer out, I would say. So we were already not feeling it. So, but I just thought that was so funny because I had this expectation. Again, let's just not have expectations in life. Be expectant of what God can do, but don't have high expectations for life in general or what you think is going to happen, because there's going to be a sign that says you can't bike. But it worked out really well because then we just turned around and enjoyed the bike ride back, and it was still really beautiful. So I would say that was my favorite. Actually, that was my favorite sweet moment.
I was going to say,
Jack, what was your favorite moment?
Well, I think I'm going to say exactly what you were about to say. So there's this community theater.
I'm thinking of another one.
Wait,
okay,
really?
Okay. That's a good one.
There's this community theater in Charleston. It's a murder mystery community theater, but there's a comedy element to it. Mm-hmm. And what makes it super fun is as you walk in, they hand you a sheet to portray you can volunteer to participate,
audience participation
in the show. Mm-hmm. So it was a great moment because for me, I got to play a dead body, and I was a really horrible dead body.
Played nobody. You were quote unquote the nobody.
Yes.
That was your name.
Yes. And that character was supposed to not only be nobody, but also be a dead body in the scene. And I was horrible at it. But it was funny. They ended up taking my shoe. I didn't know
and,
what was
smelling
going.
your head. And, it was a very unique show.
It was it was funny. But what made it even better was Christiana was also voluntold, and everyone started calling her Shakira because she's kind of had the thing going with the big hoop earrings.
Oh yeah,
and
I had my hoop earrings on that
night. And so seeing my wife get up there, being called Shakira and being forced to dance with other people was so funny.
Context. So yes, it was a murder mystery show, and you were trying to. It was Clue, the game Clue, but in real life. And so there was the maid, and she had her Duster Divas or something like that was with the audience participation. So they had women come up with her and do like this like dusting little dance. And so she was naming every single one. And she looked at me and she was like, this Shakira over here. And I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, that's why it was that called Shakira, because we were supposed to be dancing. And
10-year-old Jack really struck the lottery on that one.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was hysterical. I forgot about that moment. I was thinking of something else, which
what are you thinking about?
Well, okay. What's your favorite moment?
Or is it not something I can say on the podcast?
No, we can't. Okay. Can you even remember? Okay. So
I don't remember what I ate for lunch yesterday, babe.
I don't either. Okay. What was a funny moment? Because that's what I'm thinking of.
Funny moment on the trip. Oh man. I need give me.
Can I share?
Give me one hint.
It was funny for you. It was terrifying for me.
Yes. Okay. So everyone, we had a beach day. And I will let Christiana explain what happened on the beach day.
Okay. Yeah. So it was beautiful. It was perfect weather. We're so grateful. Because it was also, we came in, it was monsooning. So it was so great that it was so nice out. And I'm a beach gal. I love the beach.
And I don't like the beach. I'm from Florida
Jack
and I don't like the beach.
Right. Like walking distance to the beach. And so we get to the beach. We got these really good sandwiches. They were decent. They were whatever. It doesn't matter. We got some breakfast sandwiches.
6 out of 10.
We got breakfast sandwiches. We're like, let's bring them. We'll go to the beach. We'll have a great like morning there and get some sunshine. Jack will just stay under the umbrella and still get tan. So we're like, okay. So meanwhile, Jack's under the umbrella and full shade. He's under it all. I'm like basking in the sun, which I will hopefully be doing today. I'm like, just bring the sun to me, and just enjoying myself. And we were eating, and I think I was eating half of my sandwich. Yeah, I was having the rest of my sandwich. At this point, it was kind of like, oh, I wish it was a little bit better at this point, but I was hungry, so I figured I'd eat it. But so we're about like, I don't know, we're far enough away from each other where he can't like grab me or like we can't touch each other. I think that we were far enough away.
Yeah, like a car length.
Yeah. Car length. Really? Was that far?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm eating my sandwich, minding my own business, enjoying the breeze and the ocean waves. And all of a sudden I see something like in like the corner of my eye, and Jax also has full view of everything that's happening.
Watching it unfold in real time.
And I'm just like, okay, whatever. And then all of a sudden a seagull attacks me. The seagull attacks me. It comes on my shoulder. This beak like crashes into my body. And I am so scared. There's the word again, but whatever. I was scared. And I was like, this sandwich is not worth it at all. So I chucked that thing so fast.
She threw it she whipped it like a frisbee.
I was like, you can have this thing. And I like jump out of my chair. And I am so scared. And I'm just like, it's a seagull. But I've never been attacked by a seagull before. And all Jack is doing, guys, he's just laughing. He's laughing. And I'm just like, my knight in shining armor, my prince, my lovely, amazing husband of 1 year is just laughing at me.
Yep. And the best part too was you couldn't see it at the time, but while I was sitting under the shade, like if Christiana is in front of me by like about a car length and I'm behind her, I see the shadow of the seagull like on the umbrella. I'm like, that shadow is pretty close. And as soon as I had that thought, I just hear, what? Yeah. and I put 2 and 2 together, and I just started laughing. It was great. Like the image of you rocket shipping, like discus style, that sandwich. all the way into the ocean, and then the seagulls following it.
Oh my gosh.
That's a core memory.
Yeah, it was entertaining to say the least. So that was one of I wouldn't say that was my favorite moment, but that was
it was a good one.
Funny moment. Yeah.
It was a good moment.
It was really good.
From all of that though, taking time to get away though is so important, and we needed it so much, because when you get away with your spouse into a new place, oftentimes when you're in a new place away from the distractions of life, some new thinking starts to come up. And one of the things that we try to do in our marriage, we try to align on so many things, like our value system, things that matter and don't matter to us. And so this exercise we were doing on the way to Charleston was, I guess, what we're going to call start, stop, continue.
Yeah.
Can you say a little more about that?
Sure. So we can't take credit for it. I don't know where it came from, but it's part of a feedback model that a lot of businesses use, but a lot of, you can use it in a relationship too, where you talk about, you take a moment to pause and you say, what do we want to stop doing? What do we want to start doing? And what do we want to continue to do? And really, it's a way to improve. If it's a feedback cycle, it's a feedback loop and I don't know if it's like an agile thing or whatnot, but it's been used for lots of different reasons, but we were like, why not use it here? I actually think I heard it on a podcast too.
I feel like
from a church, like I think it was from our old church. They were talking about it. So I was like, oh wait, that's actually a really great model. I used to use that when I was working in marketing. So I was like, why don't we just use it now? So that's kind of like the layout of it. And so we figured, let's take a moment to pause in this year and kind of reflect on it. And so, yeah.
So when we were driving down, it always starts with, what do you want to stop? Right? Like, what is the negatives that you want to get rid of that? So, honey, what's the thing that we wanted to stop doing? You and I talked about this a lot.
Yeah. We really want to stop worrying. That is honestly, we know we're called to not worry. Like, it's over and over and over again. We are told to not worry about anything. And how much do we worry? And I had heard it somewhere where they said, worry is like a rocking chair. You spend all this time and energy moving back and forth, and you get nowhere in that rocking chair. Although a rocking chair would be really nice to sit in right now with this weather, but
it's like 70 and sunny outside. And this is like my wife, whenever it's 70 and sunny, her golden retriever comes out and she's just like, let me bask in the sun. So
it's like the perfect date. Not too hot, not too cold, but just right. But it's not April. So anyway, anyone get that one reference?
August.
But yeah, worrying led to, in the last year, we looked back specifically that it led to so much indecision. It led to fear. It led to more chaos. It led to us not being unified too. And I just was like, no. And it's something that obviously we're not like, okay, we're on year 2. We're not going to worry anymore. But something to continually pray is, what does worrying add to your day? In Luke 12, in chapter 12, he says, who of you by worrying can add a single hour to your life? So we're works in progress in this one, but just trying to stop the worrying. Yeah. It gets us nowhere. And there's so many things that we can worry about, but worry doesn't do anything.
Yeah, it doesn't help. It's interesting how we worry, but we worry in 2 different ways. I think you worry more so about what comes next, whereas maybe I worry about something that's more present. I don't know. That could be wrong, but like I think about, I don't want to worry about money or people anymore. And just because that was a time for us in this first year of marriage.
Yeah, for sure. There's a combination of that. There's, I noticed in you that the dialogue of the what ifs come into play, and that creates worry for you. Where
very much so.
I've seen that. And then for me, it is more of the present of like worrying because the present expectations isn't what I expected it to be. How is that impacting us now? How is that going to impact us in the future? I guess it's the disappointment. So like disappointment leading to worry over, okay, well, I was envisioning our first year of marriage to look a certain way and it didn't. And but it was all part of God's plan. So it's like, going back to those promises, going back to what's true. But yeah, I would say your worries I could see can grow into the future. And worry is, I mean, you're either worry is typically like thinking about the future and how it's impacting the present and how the present can impact the future more so. But yeah, I think that it shows up for us differently, but similarly.
Right. And so we're wanting to put a stop to that. And practically speaking, it really is just taking captive every thought we have.
Amen.
But outside of that, though, it's not only that we're stopping some things. We also want to continue doing some relatively newer practices, right?
Yeah, maybe in a new way.
New way.
Yeah. I just realized this after talking this out even more. What we want to continue to do is pray together. And how much more does that align with stopping worry? I've heard you can just turn your worry into a prayer and give it to God. Like worry is not worshiping the Lord. That's also what I've heard too. And I'm like, oh, that's so good. But yeah, continuing to pray and to pray together. And that's been something we've done from the very beginning, but it's changed a lot to the point where we've also said, this is necessary. We need to continue to do this, because if we don't do it in seasons where we didn't do it together as often, we saw the implications of it. So if you are desiring to start prayer in your marriage or continue it and want to know more of how to do that, we do have an episode on it. I think it's episode 3.
It's either episode 3 or 4. It's around 50 minutes, but we really dive into like the different styles of prayer.
That was so good. So, and Jack's been really good at opening my eyes to different ways of praying together and being more open and praying in the everyday and stuff like that. So yeah, that was that I think that continuing to do that has been it's already been impactful. We've already seen that. And B, if we're not like, what are we doing? A prayer, we want to think about what is true, what is pure, what is lovely. And if we are worrying, let's change that and give it to God and leave it in his hands. And that is a prayer.
I think another thing too, for me specifically, I'm not the most reflective person, but I was reflecting and I really noticed a change in how I lead our family when we started to pray more, because in those moments of prayer, I found that I was getting better leadership out of myself because I was being led more by God.
Yeah.
And that really created a tangible impact for the both of us, really.
Absolutely. Yeah. I would say maybe we'll get into this in the next episode, but I did see a big shift in you when you were allowing the Lord to lead you and guide you. And you didn't see like, okay, we just got married. It's all on my shoulders to be the provider, to be the everything. Yeah. There was a huge shift in you and then in us and how we made decisions and things like that. So we'll get into that in the next episode. But even seeing kind of in the prayer realm and watching you lead to continue doing date nights. I'm going on a little bit of a tangent, but you also led in recognizing that we need to have time to just enjoy each other's company, enjoy the wife of your youth and make that a priority. And so I am very grateful that you have put an emphasis on that. And we are continuing to do that. We did that last night, which was so fun. And we saw another comedy show. It wasn't a murder mystery, but it was a comedy.
It was improv.
Improv. Yeah, it was improv. Yeah.
My first improv show. It was fun.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. But yeah, I've definitely seen that. And so I know I'm big on reflecting, so much so where it's a good thing. Reflecting is good, yet there is a time where we don't need to keep looking back. We got to look ahead. And so, honey, what is something that we want to start doing as a married couple?
Yeah, we talked about this a lot, and we feel like out of all the prayer that's been happening, one of the things that started for us out of prayer was this podcast. We wanted to just create a resource, I guess, for folks that were walking through the newlywed season as well. And our next thing that we're looking forward to is actually starting a small group at our local church.
Yeah.
So it's going to be, Bible study, disciple group, whatever you call it. And we just feel led to start one, and we've taken the steps. I think we're looking at like a September-ish launch date. So we're getting things prepared for that. And by the grace of God, the home is actually roughly prepared for it. So
yeah,
I think the other thing that we want to start doing is re-examining some of the routines we talked about. We had a routines episode, I think
when was it?
Episode 6 or 7. And while the routine worked for us in one season of life, we find that we're transitioning into another season where the work demands that Christiana have is shifting, and the work demands for me are also shifting. So we need to go look at our days and go, is there a way we can streamline this a little more, or do certain things really matter to us anymore? So just looking at it and going, okay, maybe we needed the rigidity at first, but now we can be a little more flexible and find what's new and what'll work. So I think that's what we're going to start doing. Any thoughts on that, actually?
That was good. I would say that with starting a small group, that has also come from an increased prayer life together. So when we talk about these 3 things, we want to stop worrying, we want to continue praying, and we want to start, the podcast was something we kind of started in the transition of getting into this 1 year. But we want to make sure that we are just doing the good work that we were called to do. And I feel like that can really only come when you can pause, when you can think about what's going on with our life and the world. There's just so much going on. There's so much noise. Hopefully we are not part of the noise as it comes to, YouTube and sharing these insights, but this is actually a moment to pause and to breathe and to think about what's working, what's not, what do we want to keep doing? And it's been really sweet to do that.
And, we're not trying to be the experts here. We're just trying to share our own experience and not say that our way is right, because we live a radically different lifestyle than some people. And and even if we have a similar lifestyle, we could be in a different season. So the heart of this really is to magnify God in a modern marriage, however that magnification looks like. And these are the things we've done. We've noticed some awesome changes as a result. And I'm more in love with you after 1 year than not. So it's good to see that love has grown in a year. And
I feel the same.
Schmoobs. Oh gosh.
I think it's the first time I said that on the podcast.
I can't say my nickname for you.
Habibi.
Yes.
The other one. Yeah, no.
But with all that being said, stick around. The next episode is going to be about something we feel is extremely important for any relationship, and that's about finding and curating your joint values in a marriage. It is so important to operate out of that value system because, just a little preview, one of our shared values is peace. And when we go back all the way to the beginning of this episode, why did we choose Charleston to go instead of Lake Tahoe? Well, we were guided by the value of peace, and we're going to walk you through an exercise that we did in the next episode to help us find that joint value. So stick around, subscribe, and we look so forward to seeing you next time.